Hello, everyone. This is Pam Hemphill again. I gotta wear my glasses down on my nose because if I put them up, see what happens? The computer glares into them. And tonight I want to talk to you. This is another one of my rants. That's all I'm doing is ranting about the pharmaceutical companies that are being sued. If I look here, there's a whole bunch. Minnesota sues pharmaceutical companies over opiate crisis. Nevada are suing them. Trump is sued. Let's see. Well, not that one. Let's skip that. Hold on. Trump calls AG Sessions to sue opiate companies 12 months ago. Of course, it's up recently, too. Just all these things I'm reading here on the computer. Trump plans to force drug companies to disclose prices. Okay, that's a good thing. Money talks, drugstore. Okay, no, not that. Opiate crisis. Trump blames Mexico and big pharmaceutical company blames addicts. The Daily Show. Let's see. Lawsuit against big pharmaceutical companies. Here in Boise, they're suing them. On and on here. We can just get on there and type in Trump suing pharmaceutical. It's everywhere, every city. So, what's the problem here? I'll tell you what the problem is. Hold on. I don't like looking at that piece of hair. It's not the pharmaceuticals. See, I love Trump. You know it. I got his hat. I do videos. I support him 100%, but not on this one. And listen me out, okay? First, let me give you just a little background on me. I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor. I've worked in the field for 35 years as an alcohol and drug counselor, and inpatient, outpatient, you name it. And I own my own business too, where I had a DUI treatment center. I've been sober and clean in Alcoholics Anonymous now for 40 years. I just hit 40 years a couple of weeks ago, August 10th, okay? I think I know a few things, what I'm talking about here. And if you could follow me through and listen and do some of your own research, you'll get what I'm trying to share here. It's not anybody's damn fault that I'm using drugs or alcohol, okay? The addict you need to put the blame back on the addict. The responsibility is the addict. It's not the pharmaceutical companies. Let me give you an example. I have a friend that had a heart attack from smoking. He didn't think it was the smoking company's fault that he smoked, and it caused him to have a heart attack. So he should go sue the tobacco companies? No, because the tobacco companies did not force this person to smoke, okay? Nobody forced me to drink. It's just like saying we gotta sue the alcoholic, the companies that make beer and whiskey because of the DUIs and all the problems that alcohol has caused our country. You know that. Isn't this silly? We don't know what to do. People do not know what to do with these addicts on the streets right now and these homeless people. One, you're going to have to use the law. You have to get them off the streets, period. Move them. They'll go move. They'll find someplace. Get them off the streets. Right now, I have a family member that has a huge company. They cannot sell that building. It's in Gardena, California, because there's homeless people on the street, addicts. They rent these people, or they get these vans and they rent them to people and they put them on the street and live in them. Of course, they're drugging and pooping all over the floor, on the sidewalk and everything. You can name what they're doing. And most of them are drug addicts, and it's right in front of companies, okay, in Gardena, California. Doesn't California get it that their buildings and their properties is going to be gone? The value of that house and that company, they're not going to be able to sell it for what they would like to sell it for. They won't even be able to lease it out. That whole state is going to go right into the ocean. I don't mean by an earthquake or something, but I mean, it's going to be a desert or nobody's going to be living there. Just give it another 10 years the way it's going. But back to drug addicts and alcoholics. It's not anybody's fault if you get a heart attack because you eat too much meat and eat sugar every day. How far do we want to go with this? Do you hear what I'm saying? So we need to get it a letter or some way to talk to Trump. Trump doesn't know about this stuff. See, he had a brother that died from alcoholism, and it touches his heart. He loved his brother, and he wants to fight back in his own way as a part of trying to do something because he couldn't help his brother. And same here, Trump. I had a brother 6 months ago. He died. He was drunk. He walked across the street, and this was in Laguna Beach, and a car hit him. Okay, but for years prior to that, myself and his son and my other brother have done everything we could to get Bill into treatment and to help, the program, into the program. He didn't want it. Most of these people, even the homeless people, they don't want your help. Let me tell you why I know this. I've worked as a social worker, and I've had the homeless. I helped the homeless. I got them their Social Security. I got them a little apartment. I got them off the streets. It took a little while, but we got all these benefits going for them. Boom, they're gone. Back on the streets. They're happier there. There's no responsibility, and they can drink and use all they want. Don't feel sorry for the alcoholic or the addict. Yes, it's not their fault that they're this way. It is not their fault. It's an illness. But it is their responsibility to do something about it. And I'll tell you why Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous are the most successful programs going on for the last 85 years. Because they have made the alcoholic responsible for their own recovery. They don't even tell you if you're an alcoholic or not. They let you decide that. And then if you decide that and you want some help, then we got help for you. But we don't force anything on you, and this has been the problem. The treatment centers have been forced onto people, and AA meetings have been forced onto people. And then what they did was go out there and write these terrible books about Alcoholics Anonymous. The first one I saw, I think I was sober 16 years, and I'm sober 40 now. It was called AA Cult or Cure. You know what I mean? It's not a cult. In our book, it says we know only a little. So, we're not a cult. We don't say we have all the answers, and we don't say it's the only way. I just share with you that it's worked for me for 40 years, so what the hell, I don't know. It may not work for you. But I'll tell you one thing that's not going to work is suing these pharmaceutical companies. It's a big mistake. We need the painkillers. Have you ever broke a leg or an arm or had some, your ribs or whatever? So much pain. You need those pain pills, okay? It's just like saying marijuana. Let's use that for an example right now. You want to sue marijuana companies and stop legalizing marijuana? Because I have a son that's probably, his brain is going because all he's done is smoke pot for I don't know how long now. 14 years old and he's 32. I can't help him. I can't help my other son that's drinking on the streets. And it's not the it's not the alcohol companies that make alcohol. It's not the marijuana the people that grow it and sell it. It's not the pharmaceutical companies that make pain medicine. Maybe, there's got to be a few tweets here and there about physicians only being able to give them out at a certain amount of time, maybe 10, based on the level of the pain and what the patient's going through. I guess you can come up with all those policies and regulations. That's a given. Okay, we got it. It's always going to have some kind of accountability. But so does the addict and the alcoholic. You're creating a problem that doesn't have to be created. And if we put a little hole in the plug right now by taking the responsibility off of all these other companies and putting it back onto the addict and having him and her become responsible for their recovery and stop babying them. I think the whole nation needs to go to Al-Anon meetings. That's where you learn that you didn't cause it, you can't cure it, and you cannot control it. Okay? If I could have saved anybody, it would have been my brother 6 months ago. With a degree in alcohol and drug studies, with sobriety behind me, all this head knowledge, I could do nothing for my brother. I can do nothing for my children. They have a choice, just like I had a choice 40 years ago. And I chose God, and I chose the AA program. I needed help, and I didn't want to go back to where I was at and the hell I was going through. I had blackouts. I drove drunk all the time by the grace of God, and thank you, Father, that I never got it, where I was killing people in a car. All kinds of stuff could have happened to me. And I have been through hell. I have a childhood that would make hell look like Disneyland. I have PTSD. I've suffered. I haven't gone back to drinking or using. I don't blame anybody for my choices today. I have choices. I turn to a lot of things. I read a lot of books. I love Jordan Peterson. I read Emmett Fox. I pray. I work the last 3 steps of the Alcoholics Anonymous, which is taking a look at my own inventory every night, and if I've harmed anybody, I try to make amends for that. I pray and meditate, and I try to carry this message to the suffering alcoholic. Primary purpose, though, in the program, my program that I'm in, is to stay sober, period. We don't teach people in the program that relapse is okay, and that's what they teach in treatment. That relapse is okay. It's okay if you relapse. Just come back to treatment and pay us another $30,000. It's not going to do you any good. It was a time they called Alcoholics Anonymous. Now they call treatment centers. They think that's the solution. The treatment centers it's a domino effect. It's been the problem that's created this homelessness and addict problem. I talked about this in my other video, but I'll share a little bit more about this. See, what happened, Bill W. and Dr. Bob and Alcoholics Anonymous that started it, the co-founders, it was one alcoholic talking to another. If you've ever had a baby, you're not going to talk to somebody who's never had a baby. You're going to be talking to another woman that's been through childbirth, and you can share things and learn things from each other, right? Well, the same with alcoholics and addicts. It takes an alcoholic talking to an alcoholic, addict talking to an addict, a gambler, compulsive gambler talking to another gambler, on and on and on. Same with food or any addictions, right? And that's what works. And that's why treatment doesn't work. It never will work. Treatment doesn't work. You know what an alcoholic and addicts need? They need detox. They need to get physically well first. And Bill and Bob promoted that because their mind is not clear. They can't hear what you're saying when there's drugs and alcohol in the brain. It takes a while. And then nowadays, everybody's bipolar. Let me tell you, the first year and a half, what I learned is you're going to go up and you're going to go down with your emotions. You're going to look like a bipolar person, but you're not. Don't let them prescribe or say that you have a dual diagnosis, because you don't. Not until after about a year and a half. Then go get a psychiatrist to do an evaluation on you when you've been totally free of all these alcohol and drugs, okay? Then if problems are still happening where you can't sleep, you have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, you're depressed or whatever, go get some help, okay? Now, meanwhile, until that, I'm not saying wait a year and a half. Not all people can do that. They got severe depression problems. Nowadays, today, we have some very safe medication in the family of the SSRIs. Some of these are called Bruce Bar, Wellbutrin, I'm trying to think of some, Zoloft. Those are very safe medicines that any addict or alcoholic can take, and they don't get addicted on those things. Some of them may need that, and that's okay. They're sober 3 or 4 months, and they're still depressed, and they're suicidal. Well, yeah, they need psychiatric help, But I'm talking about the average alcoholic and addict. I mean, in a big scale, not these individual. They're all being put on medications, right away, because they go into the treatment centers and they got all these issues, the ups and downs, and they don't know what to do with them. The treatment centers really need to shut down and do an inventory on how they're treating these people, because they're going the wrong direction. They have for a long time, and I know because I've worked in them. And if I opened my mouth about anything, I was fired, and I got fired twice for it. So anyway, you do your best to get this video out. Not to make me famous or anything. Believe me, that's not. I need the help though to get this video out. Somebody start listening to some people. It's not just me. There's others that will tell you the same thing. The real experts, that it's not the pharmaceuticals problem why these people are getting addicted. Put the responsibility back on the alcoholic, back on the addict, and you'll see some big changes in our nation. You'll see the heroin overdose problems going down. You'll see the alcoholism problems going down. I guarantee you, because society has a way of making some serious changes in other people. Look at smoking. You don't smoke in public anymore. You don't smoke in bars anymore. Look at the pressure that as a society, what we did and how we helped so many people who are not smoking today. Isn't that a miracle? See what you can do, what a society can do? The power that you have to get this out there, to say, hey, we're going to make the addict responsible. We're going to stop blaming these pharmaceutical companies. We're not going to blame the people that are growing weed or producing whiskey and beer. It's not nobody's fault. Nobody's tying them down. They're making the choices. I'm not saying not to tweet some of these policies for these people. That's a given. Can't let companies just run amok and just give out pain medication like it's candy. Of course not. Of course. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you have to stop blaming pharmaceutical companies. Okay? It's not their fault. Make them responsible, yes. Make them more accountable, yes. But also, put the blame back on the alcoholic and the addict. Make them more responsible too. They're choosing this. You don't like to hear this. Oh, they're victims, poor things. It's not their fault. Give me a break. I wish you knew my whole story. Things that have happened in my life and the pain I've had to go through, and I never picked up a drug or a drink for 40 years now. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. It's been hard very many times. But I've had God and I've had the program. And I had a choice that I don't want to ever go back to that hell again. And I've made the right choice one day at a time for 40 years to hang in there and know that God's got something planned for me. And if it's just to help one more person never drink or use again, my job's done. I'd be very happy. I love you all. You have any questions, anything you want me to discuss on a video, just put it in the comments. Please prescribe. I've got 3 channels out there right now, and I got to get it fixed. So this one only has 2 prescribers on it right now. So I'm going to try to get it in the other one. I got 300 on that one. I'm not sure what I have on the other one. See, I was doing some TV shows for a while in my community, and you could see some of those. I was trying to help the heroin addict. This was years ago, 4 years ago, before all this stuff started happening, and nobody's listening back then either. But I was doing those, and then now I'm doing just rants, and I talk about different things that bother me. Lately, it's been about Trump, because I just love our president, and our president represents love for the country. You're wearing this, you might as well just put on here, I love my country, because that's what this stands for. And if they want to throw soda or push my hat off of me or whatever they want to do, because I'm wearing it and I'm standing up for this, let them. Well, that's their problem, you know what I mean? I don't care. I don't want to be shot, though, or stabbed. you know. But I may have to take a few people with me if I was in Portland. I'm in Boise, and it's not that bad right now. I don't know if they scratch your car, though. I know in LA, if you put a Trump sticker on your car, it's going to get scratched. And I heard that from my brother. I said, what the hell? My God, I can't believe people treat people like this. Do you I mean this is America? You know? Anyway, well, it was. It is a great country. It's a wonderful country. Just compare it to Sweden and all these other places that have high taxes. The freedoms we have, and poor Trump, he's desperately, desperately trying to make this a better country for everyone. And his grandchildren, his children, you, me, and he's being fought left and right. Even the Republicans fight him sometimes, God, and I would say in my other video, take some bullets for him. Wear this hat. Wear your T-shirt, your 2020 Trump. Let people mock you or yell at you. Who gives a shit? We got to do something to save this country. And Trump can't do it by himself. He needs your help. What are you doing? I don't see any Trump hats. Are they scaring you? Oh, well, what are they going to do? Give me a break, Let them scare us. Their intimidation ain't bother me. I ain't going to take off my hat for nobody. I love my hat. I love Trump. And his wife and his family. You just think about it. Four children? Now, one of them had a bad thing to say about him, and that tells you something right there. One of them would have said something. You're not going to keep stuff a secret, especially with kids, you know what I mean? Oh, we better not say anything because we want him to be elected for president. No, I think something would have came out. Those kids love and respect their father because he's a good man. He taught them right. And his wonderful wife, she puts her son first. And Trump, she's a good woman, very good woman. The best first lady I think we've had in a very long time, besides Kennedy's wife, Jacqueline. Anyway, I love you all. I'm ranting enough. I made this too long. But back to remembering what to do. Help spread the word that we got to stop suing these pharmaceutical companies. It's not okay to do this to companies in our country that are trying to help make medicine for us because the addicts are misusing them. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Does it? Think about it. They're misusing them, and we're punishing the pharmacy companies. Give me a break. Who are we going to do next? The meat companies? Because I'm eating too much meat, it's giving me cholesterol, and I'm having a heart attack. Where do you want to take this? Don't let it start. Stop now. Love you all. God bless you.